Hello, 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 and welcome back to another live ukulele jam with me, Matt Stead. Doesn't it feel like forever? It feels like yonks and yonks and yonks since I saw you all. I hope you're all keeping well. So we got back from the ukulele cruise about a week ago, and I've been back into it. Pat, yeah, I think you got the right time. So 6 p.m. now. So yeah, you're all good. So yeah, we got back last week. Had a bit of jet lag, but feeling pretty good now. And it was just absolutely wonderful. I don't want to make you all jealous or anything like that. I know I get FOMO really bad when people do that. But just to let you know, it was a wonderful time. Thanks to Donna and Harry and everyone that took part. It was just really, really magical. And if you are interested, notice up here, up there, even we've got the new ticker. So it's less than a year. In fact, a fair bit less than a year. 334 days now waiting for the next one. So, oh, don't worry, girl. You'll be absolutely fine. We'll get you going. We'll get you going. Don't worry. So yeah, really, really great time had by all. Bobby and Sandy were just in their element, seeing all the nature and all the amazing animals, iguanas and pelicans, butterflies obviously. I haven't seen my first UK butterfly this year, but I have seen my first Caribbean one, so that's that's always good. So yeah, Karen, don't worry, we shall cheer everyone up. Don't worry, it'll all be good. We'll have loads of fun. Sounds like everyone's a bit chilly tonight, so a bit cold in the UK, but it's going to get nicer over the next few days, which is really exciting. I sound like a weatherman, don't I? So tonight we're going to do some waltzes, some beautiful 3/4 time waltzes. Oh, thanks, Tim. Love it. Some beautiful 3/4 time waltzes that we're going to do. Oh, hi Charlene, hi Ken, good to see you, good to see you. It was lovely to meet you in person. Hi Beach, hi Joe. So, yeah, we're going to do some lovely 3/4 time waltzes, and we're also going to turn one of the waltzes into common time to really kind of muck about with it. So we're going to have loads and loads of fun. We're back to every week now. So every Monday we'll have these live ukulele jams, Kanikapila Mondays, where I kind of teach you to play by ear and show you how songs work, break down the structure, and teach you how to play them, which is hopefully really, really exciting. So every week now we'll be back on a Monday. Don't forget, we've got our first live lesson in absolutely ages as well. This Wednesday coming up, night and day, we're going to do a beautiful jazz version with simple but beautiful jazz chords and a very simple comping style. So Cole Porter's Night and Day. That's going to be this Wednesday, 19th of March at 3:30. So this Wednesday, 9th of March, 3:30. Hi Lisa, hi Pat, that's two of my cruisers. I hope you're all doing well. I saw your email, Pat. I'll be meaning to get back to you, but beautiful photos. Thank you guys. So yeah, it's been lovely seeing everyone's photos from over the week. If anyone is interested, just go to my website, and under the events page, we've got all the details of the next one there. So feel free to go and check that out. All on the events page, mattsteadukulele.com, and come along if you can. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. And don't forget, we've also got my Spanish adventure, which I'm really excited about, run with Matt from the Awesome Ukulele Academy, a different Matt, where we're going to Gelson in Spain, which is going to be really, really exciting. So that one is in May. About mid-May, and we're going to have several days in the hot Spanish sunshine. Really, really enjoying that, and it should be fun because Matt's promised to take me to see some lovely monarch beautiful butterflies afterwards, which should be good as well. So, oh, thanks Rebecca, so nice to see you here. It was really magical, wasn't it? It was really super special. Thanks guys. Okay, so let's bring some so that's a live lesson this week. Let's bring on some sheets for tonight so we can get into it, and I can show you how it all works. So it's kind of way more straightforward than it looks, basically. So what we've got is we've got boxes, which each one is being a measure. Oh, and I forgot to say happy St. Patrick's Day to all of you. I was trying to think of themes this morning, and Sharon said, why didn't you do St. Patrick's Day today? Duh, that would have been perfect. So we should have been doing some Irish songs, shouldn't we? But ho-hum. I think we're doing an old one, so that's really good. Oh yeah, apologies about the saucy headstock. You guys know that's not my style. I'm not particularly kinky. But this was a beautiful ukulele built by Chuck Moore on the Big Island, and it's just so gorgeous and it plays so beautifully. When it became available in the UK, I had to snap it up. Sometimes I very carefully place a lei just over here to kind of hide her modesty. But apologies to anyone that's offended. But it's a beautiful uke. Okay, right then. Let's have a look then. So we've got these boxes, each one being a measure. And remember, Louis Armstrong once said that playing music was as simple as counting to 4 over and over. And that's what we do most weeks in Kanikapila. Each one of these measures would be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But, of course, this week we're doing waltzes, aren't we? They're all 3/4 time. So at its most simple, for instance, if we just have a look at that intro, we just need to strum up and down for 3 beats each measure. So that would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And what I'll do is I'll give you a lovely picking pattern that we can do to that in a minute to make it sound even more beautiful. But that's all we've got going on. Then we number the chords using what we call Roman numerals or Nashville numbers. And quite simply, we number the chords in any key 1 through to 7. So this song's in the key of C. C is 1, it's just our alphabet. D is 2, E3, F4, G5, A6 and B7. And generally, the 1st, 4th and the 5th chords are all major chords. And the 2nd, the 3rd and the 6th chords are minor chords. And you'll see that come up here. In fact, this one is largely just based on the 1, 4 and 5 chords. Sometimes we turn those chords into dominant 7th chords. That just gives them a little bit more pull. It makes it want to go back to the 1 chord. So with this first little introduction part, you can think of the 1 chord as setting the scene, feeling nice and settled. And then the 5 chord, in this case we're just playing a G7, creates tension that makes you want to go back to 1. So that intro, we've got resolution, tension and resolution. Like so. So really simple how it's all working. Yeah, Indrani, you're quite right about that. Indrani was just saying the Polynesians didn't have a problem with nudity until the Europeans arrived. I've read quite a lot on Hawaiian history. And the early hula dancers, there wouldn't have even been that bottom bit. In fact, they were quite sexual in nature because a lot of them were used to kind of promote sort of fertility and encourage good kind of fertility on the island. So yeah, so that's the way I think about it as well. So let's have a look at the verse then, so we can have a go at one of these verses. So the first verse, we're just going to do 2 measures of C. So that's 1, 2, 3 twice. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then a measure of C7 down in the corner. And then a measure of F. Okay. Now that C7 is really important. We talked about this on the cruise, but I've also talked about this a lot in Kanikapila. Whenever we get a dominant 7th chord, that just means any letter with just the number 7 after it without a major or minor. Whenever we have that, Harry, you just made me giggle. Whenever we have that dominant 7th chord, it wants to resolve to a chord that is 5 above. So that G7 in the first verse wants to resolve to C, because if we count up from C, C, D, E, F, G is 5 above it, right? Well, the reason we've got that C7 in the verse is that wants to resolve to F. And if I count up from F, F, G, A, B flat, C, you'll see that C is 5 above F. So if I just stayed on C like this, let me just do it in close cam. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now that kind of feels settled. It doesn't feel like it wants to go anywhere. But if I then change to a C7, feel that pull. It really wants to resolve to a chord that's 5 above. And it loves to go to that F. So that's the reason that's there in the verse. It just creates a little bit of movement, which is totally lovely. Oh, that's true, Joe. Yeah, that's true. I'm sure Chuck would agree as well. So let's have a look at the next line of the verse. Similar thing happening again. We've got the tension of the 1 chord. And then G7 at the end of the second line creates tension that makes us want to do it all again, which is exactly what we do on the third line. C to F. And then tension, resolution, and tension. So let's just play through a verse. It'll be really helpful for anyone that's not done Kanikapila before, just so they can understand how it works. We'll just do one verse. The lyrics are always on the next page, you'll find there. And these are really simple. We just have verse, chorus, instrumental verse, and then a chorus. So really simple. So just keep strumming. If you're not sure about how to do the lyrics, just strum along with us and enjoy yourself. So here's the first verse, just to give you some idea. 1, 2, 3. I was dancing with my darling to the Tennessee waltz when an old friend I happened to see. I introduced her to my loved one, and while they were dancing, my friend stole my sweetheart from me. Really simple, right? Now remember, I really don't like to overcomplicate things when it comes to strumming. So in terms of a strum pattern, as I say, I'm going to show you how to pick this as well. But in terms of a strum pattern, just start with what I call walks, just down strums, just like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, down, 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 down. So each of those is going to be a measure. 1, 2, 3, measure. 1, 2, 3, measure. 1, 2, 3. Now if you want to kind of zhuzh it up a bit, make it a little bit more interesting, it's really simple because you can just touch the strings on the way up after any of those downs. I could do it on the first one like this, down, up, down, down. Okay, and if I put that round and round, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down. I could put an up after the second, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. See how it works? Or on the third, down, 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 up. And it's really that simple. Any combination of those ups and downs, as long as you keep the rhythm going, it will sound really nice. And I like to think about it as walks and running. So down is walk, walk. Down, up is running, running. Okay. And the way I like to do this is down, down, up, walk, running, running, walk, running, running, walk, running, running, walk, running, running. But you can come up with your own. Any combination of those walks and runnings in 3/4 will sound really lovely. Let's have a look at the chorus then. So the chorus introduces one new chord. We call it a secondary dominant chord. Don't worry about the music theory from that. It just means that it's not the 5 chord. It's a dominant 7th, but it's not based on the 5th chord degree. If that went over your head, don't sweat it. It doesn't matter, right? But we have this E7 coming in. 1, 2, 0, 2, like this. And that creates a really nice tension. It's different from the tension of the G7, even though it's only one note different. It creates a different tension, but it's really nice. You often hear that C to E7 in trad jazz songs like 5 for 2, eyes are blue, ain't she sweet, and things like that. But we're just going to go to there briefly for one measure. before we go to our 4 chord, and the 4 chord just creates a sense of change in a piece. Resolution to the 1 chord. If you get a blank measure, just keep doing what you're doing. So that second line, C, G7, and another G7. Okay, let's try that again, just from the chorus. 1, 2, 3, C, E7, F, C. Stay on C, second line, C, C, 2 G7s. Okay, and then the end of the chorus is exactly the same as the end of the verse. C, C, C7, up to your F, resolution, tension, resolution. I'll do that with the lyrics so you can hear how that sounds, and that's basically all of it. Let's give it a go. So come in after 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I remember the night and the Tennessee waltz. Now I know just how much I have lost. Yes, I lost my little darling the night they were playing the beautiful Tennessee waltz. Really beautiful. So this one was Pee Wee King, written in 1947, 2 years after the Second World War. And interestingly, this is all in the brilliant, fascinating facts in the back. And interestingly, the cover version by Patti Page, it was remains apparently the biggest selling single ever by a female artist. Isn't that mind-blowing? 1950 and no one's beaten it since. So Patti Page's version in 1950, the biggest ever selling single of all time. That's just like mind-blowing, isn't it? Of course, back then it was the golden age, really, 50s into the 60s of physical releases. So I mean, a lot more people were buying records, but still think that's totally amazing. Okay, let's have a look at one more thing. We can do a little bit of a solo over this one. Now, the sharp eyes of you might have noticed, Karen's seen it already, that the other Karen Morrow, has kindly been working on some brilliant worksheets for you all. So you know our scales reference sheets? Karen's had a real good go at redoing them. And we've got all the scales again, what you can look up, but also it shows you how they're built. It goes through melodic minors as well as pentatonics, major scales. It's really fabulous. There's even some stuff in the back about how a pentatonic is built. So, for instance, a major pentatonic just takes out the 4th and 7th scale degrees, things like that. So if you're kind of interested in theory, have a real good dig through these sheets, because there's a lot of information in there, which is really, really fantastic. Now, you'll find these on the Kanikapila webpage. If you go to mattsteadukulele.com, click on live lessons and then Kanikapila Mondays. They're completely free, and you can go there and you can download them. And once you've downloaded them to your device or to your printer, you can use them on every Kanikapila. There won't be a different one each time. So this is a brilliant, brilliant resource. And thanks, Karen, for all her hard work on this. It's absolutely fantastic. So we're going to have a look at the C major pentatonic scale, because we're in the key of C, and its relative minor, the A minor. And I'm just going to flick through till we get to the pentatonics, which is on page, there we go. Here's a really neat one. This is page 15 in your new sheets. If you've got your old sheets, you can still use them, so don't panic at all. It's absolutely fine. But if you want to use your new sheets, it's on page 15. And I'll explain it as we go anyway, as we look at it. So the C major pentatonic scale is exactly the same as the A minor pentatonic. In fact, I wonder, yeah, we got it. There we go. There's the C major. So we can start with an open C, just picking that C string, 2nd fret for D, 3rd fret as an open E. Notice the white dots are your open strings. G at the 3rd, open A, And then if we do a C here, that's right way through the scales. So it's called pentatonic because it has 5 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then they're repeated all over the fretboard. Okay, so let's do that again. 0, 2, 0, 3, and 0, 3 again. It's basically our major scale with this note, the 4th note, and this note, the 7th note, taken out. The reason we take those notes out is they clash with certain chords. So the brilliant thing about any pentatonic is you can solo using it over any song that's in that key, and you won't hit a wrong note. They'll always sound nice. And a lot of modern singers like Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, if you listen to their vocal melodies, they're based on pentatonics for that reason as well. So really, really powerful things. Now notice another cool thing about this pentatonic. It's the same as its relative minor. Every major key in the world has a relative minor which has all the same notes just starting from a different place. And if I go to the next page, oh no, previous page even, look at those notes in the A minor pentatonic. If we started from C, we've got C, D, E, G and A. Exactly the same ones as the key of C, C, D, E, G and A. And that's because they're related. It's the major pentatonic in its minor, relative minor. Now the brilliant thing about both of these scales, if you have a look at the notes on the A string, this is our trick where it's every dot on our A string. So we've got our open A, C on the 3rd fret, D on the 5th fret, E on the 7th, G on the 10th, and an A on the 12th. So all of our dots, I'm turning my uke so you can see my dots, all of my dots on the A string, which is really useful for soloing in the key of C, the most common key. Notice you can also play all the dots on your E string, only when we get to this note here, the 7th fret of the E string, we're going to slide one up to this C here, and then D and E. So you can do all sorts of soloing with that. Now we've got all the playing options, so when you feel more confident you can explore these notes all over the fretboard. But the best thing is just to learn the simple patterns first, get those under your fingers, and then you can expand from there, which is really, really exciting. And basically when you play those over a song that's in the key of C, it will sound fantastic. Any song that's in the key of C. So I'll just do a simple one just to show you with a backing track. Let me just pop this to start. And literally I could hit any of those notes on the A string. I could just do the ones on the A string, look. Just hitting the dots. So you can give that a go. When we get to the solo part of this song, see if you can have a go. A lot of people are too shy, but it's only yourself or your pets or your neighbours that can hear you. Really enjoy it and see if you can do a little rudimentary solo or a brilliant solo if you're more experienced. And what we're going to do is we're going to do that after the first chorus. So basically we've got verse, chorus, verse, chorus. So we've got verse with lyrics, chorus with lyrics, instrumental verse. You could just play the chords if you don't want a solo, and then the chorus. Now one last thing to show you. Now this one sounds really sweet with what we often call a cut time pick. And a cut time pick just means we kind of divide the pick into two different parts, a thumb pick and then fingers. The reason it's called a cut time pick is this is most commonly done over songs that are in cut time 2/2 or 2/4, but we're going to do this in 3/4. It sounds really, really nice. I bring my uke up this way so you can see. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hit either the G string or the C string with our thumb. If you've got a low G, hit the G string first like this, and then we're going to use these two fingers, first two fingers, to pick up on the bottom two strings nearest the floor, the E and the A string. And in a cut time pick, we would go. But because we're in 3/4, we need to hit two of the finger parts. See how that gives me a lovely 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I can do that with the chords. If I do it on the intro, C, G, 7, C, it will sound like this. Okay, so each one of those is a measure. 1, 2, 3, G7, 2, 3, C, 2, 3. Okay. Now, if you've got a high G, what you can do is you can do exactly the same thing, but just use the C string for the bass part, the low note. So you can hit this one, like so. Really lovely, right? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now the intro with a high G would sound like this. Isn't that lovely? Really, really simple. And then if you want to get even more advanced, what you could do, you don't have to do this now, but you can alter your thumb between the top two strings. So low G, I tend to go G and then C like this. And that's just because G is the lowest note. I like to hear it first. If you've got high G, try it the other way around. I'm having to do something different so you can hear it there because I've got a low G uke. But it sounds really lovely. If I do that over a verse, just quickly, just to give you an idea of how it'll sound with the lyrics. Let me bring the lyrics back up. It'll sound something like this. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Was dancing with my darling to... Oh, sorry, I'll do that again. I was dancing with my darling to the Tennessee Waltz when an old friend I happened to see. I introduced her to my loved one, and while they were dancing, my friend stole my sweetheart from me. Isn't that lovely? If I alternate it, I remember the night and the Tennessee Waltz. Only you know how much I have lost. Yes, I lost my little darling the night they were playing the beautiful Tennessee Waltz. Okay, really, really simple but sweet. Now, if you find that difficult, just strum. Don't have to do anything complex. Do as much that you feel as comfortable with. Just do as much as feels right. Let's give it a go. Let's give it a try. I think I'm going to do that pick because it sounds really sweet. I'll stay here so you can see my chords. Yep, that should work. Okay, let's give it a try. So remember, we've got the introduction and then verse, chorus, verse, chorus. If it looks like I'm looking away over there, it's just because that's where my lyrics are. Okay, here we go. Coming after 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Intro, G7, and C, and a verse. I was dancing with my darling to the Tennessee Waltz when an old friend I happened to see. Third line, I introduced her to my loved one, and while they were dancing, my friend stole my sweetheart from me. Chorus, I remember the nights and the Tennessee Waltz. Only you know how much I have lost. Yes, I lost my little darling the night they were playing the beautiful Tennessee Waltz. Instrumental, try solo. Or strum with me. chorus chords. Second half of the verse. C7 and F, C, G7. Come back in for two choruses. I remember the night and the Tennessee waltz. Now I know how much I have lost. Yes, I lost my little darling the night they were playing the beautiful Tennessee waltz. One more chorus. I remember the nights and the Tennessee waltz. Now I know how much I have lost. Yes, I lost my little darling the night they were playing the beautiful Tennessee waltz. Yeah, well done everyone. That's a beautiful tune, isn't it? Really simple but beautiful. And I love the way it just really shows the power of the 1 and the 5 chord, especially that 1 chord feeling resolved, 5 chord for tension, and then you get that resolution again, which is really, really sweet. Let me know how you found that, guys. I'd be really, really interested to hear how you got on with that. Did you try the picking pattern, or weren't you quite brave enough? Did you give it a strum? Let us know. Let us know what you thought of that. So really, really beautiful but simple. Harry and Indrani have been enjoying themselves. Yeah, good to know. Fantastic. Thanks to Esther and to Karen and Barbara and Indrani for all their help with the sheets. So I sent them a load of these before I disappeared to the Caribbean, and they were busy badgering away getting them looking really, really nice for you. So thanks guys, much, much appreciated. Ah, and Indrani picked all the way. Love it. Fantastic. Indrani, one of your picking videos you did, I think it's, yeah, it's, you did a nice picked version of She's Leaving Home by the Beatles. That really inspired me, and I'm actually doing that for my next Beatles lesson. So if anyone's interested, there'll be a new Beatles ukulele lesson this week, and we're going to do She's Leaving Home, which is really beautiful. Let's have a look at something completely different. Now this one looks really tricky, but it really isn't. It looks way harder than it is. It's actually quite easy peasy lemon squeezy, this one, when you get into it. So this song, wow, this is a bit of a weird one in terms of the key. And when I looked at it, it was really difficult to discern which the 1 chord was. Generally in a song, the 1 chord is where it feels really resolved. But when I play this introduction and the verse, let me just play a bit so you can hear it. Yeah. Whoops. And I'll do it with some lyrics just briefly. Here I stand at the foot of the window, oh please, I can help you fill the hole. It's really interesting because none of those chords feel massively resolved because they're all major chords, and the combination that they're in, it's quite difficult to discern which one is the 1 chord. And then when I did the chorus, I don't care where you live, I don't care where you live, I will follow you wherever you want to be. Then I started thinking, is it in the key of D? Because you've got that D chord at the end of the chorus. But it doesn't feel rested either. It's really strange. So I hope I've got this right. Sometimes, occasionally, even for us teachers, it's really tricky to discern what key it's in. And some songs, like famously, God Only Knows by the Beach Boys, some songs were written without a key in mind, so they're actually not in one particular key. The way I work this out is when you, and you don't have to do this, but when you look into the melody, da 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 da, ba da 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 da, the notes that are used come from the key of C. So that's a kind of clue that I think the one chord is C here, and we're in the key of C. So that's where I've written it out. But the chords are really, really simple to follow of this anyway, so you'll be absolutely fine. Oh, well done, Charlene. That's absolutely fantastic. Yeah, good on you, good on you. So playing up the fretboard's just so satisfying when you can get used to it. So Charlene was saying how since she's come back from the cruise, she's been playing up the fretboard, which is really lovely to hear. Oh, and Karen says, I also love the Sam Cooke version of Tennessee Waltz. Yeah, Sam Cooke's such a great singer. I love his music. So if you want to try chords up the fretboard on this, Charlene, do you remember on the cruise, and for everyone else, that you can take a G chord, and if you take it up to the 7th fret, it becomes a C chord, believe it or not. G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C. So you could, for this one, do G here, go right up the fretboard for the C, and maybe this F up here would be really nice. So something to have a muck about with up the fretboard. But let's go back to the basic chords then. We're still in 3/4, so still 3/4 timing. And pretty much most of the song is either G, C and F or C and G. It's really easy. So we have G, C and F. Two of those Fs. G, C and F. Really gorgeous. And that's the intro. And the verses. Just play it round with me. G, C, Now this one we're going to strum, and I'm just doing that simple walk, running, running, down, down, up, 1, 2 and 3, and 1, 2 and 3, and. Notice that 3/4 time songs, they have one pulse per measure. The pulse is like the musical heartbeat of whatever kind of beat you're using. So whatever song you're playing, I should have said. So the musical heartbeat in 3/4 is on the first beat of every measure. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's the reason why I like to do just a down on that first one. 1, 2, 3. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up. Just because it really emphasizes that pulse on the first beat, which is really, really lovely. So let's try that round a few times. 1, 2, 3, G, C, and F. And again, G, C, and F. Let's do it a couple more times. G, C, and F. And one last time. So this one, even though it looks like there's a lot going on, this is a really nice one to play off by heart, because the chords in the verses are the same thing over and over. You'll get it really, really, really easy. By the way, if you're interested, this is a song by the Charlatans, and they're a UK band, really big in the Britpop era, but actually formed in 1988, even before the 90s. And their earliest stuff was quite heavy on like dance beats. It was almost had that kind of baggy dance thing going on, which was really interesting. But sadly, they were recording at a studio near here where I live, called Rockfield. A lot of famous bands have recorded there, and it's based in Monmouth, basically just over the border in Wales. And unfortunately, Rob Collins, the keyboardist, was involved in a road traffic accident, crashed his car, and he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, and he passed away on the album before this one. So most of their stuff up until this point had that real dancey feel. And then when they recorded this, they went to their own home studio, built their own home studio, and they recorded this album, and it has a real kind of almost like a folk bluesy feel to it. It was really influenced by a lot of Bob Dylan stuff, and a lot of Rolling Stones as well. Kind of has that feel of Exile on Main Street a bit. Really, really interesting. And Martin from the Charlatans said it's quite funny because they'd never written a waltz before, and this album, Us and Us Only, has 3 of them, and this is one of my favourites from it. So this is a beautiful waltz called I Don't Care Where You Live. Notice they've nicked a few Bob Dylan lines in here as well in terms of the lyrics. Now the chorus is dead simple because it just goes from the 1 chord C to the 5 chord for tension. So we literally just have 1 5 over and over. Don't care where you live, don't care where you live, for tonight I start loving you. And then unusually we have the 2 chord, which would normally be played as a D minor, but being played as a D major. Remember that D, you could do a 2-finger version like that. You could even do a barred version. Or you can squidge all 3 fingers in the 2nd fret like I do. Okay, let's try a chorus. Come in with me on C after 3. 1, 2, 3, C, G, C, G, C, G, and D. Really simple. Notice that when I change from G to C, I often pivot on the 2nd finger. Sometimes I'll even leave it down as I hit C, just to make that a really smooth change. Okay. So we're nearly there. Now this one has a bridge in the key. It's kind of almost like it goes to the relative minor, which is A minor. If you ever want to find the relative minor in any key, in a major key, just count up to 6. C, D, E, F, G, A. So the relative minor of C major is A minor. The relative minor of G major, G, A, B, C, D, is E minor. So you can always find it that way. Quite often when we go to a new section, it starts with the relative minor. So in the bridge, we still have 2 more Ds, but that's really just finishing off the chorus. And then see where it says vocals start here. This is the start of the bridge properly. We have A minor. And then we just go between A minor and D. And you can quite easily just leave this finger down and just put these 2 on D. Don't worry about the sus chord at the moment. Just practice this. A minor, D, A minor, D, A minor, D. And we just keep doing that for quite some time. And then when we get to the end of the chorus, it's the same as a normal chorus. Just back to C and G. Okay, really nice, isn't it? Now, if you want to get really fancy schmancy, notice that the D chord, it has a suspended 2 next to it. A suspended 2 means that we take the notes that make up a D chord, which is D, F sharp and A, and we take the 3rd note from that chord and we flatten it for a suspended 2. Best way to think about it is just rather than playing the 3rd note in the D scale, we play the 2nd, which is E. Okay, or a suspended 4th, we go up the other way. Now again, don't sweat the theory. If it goes like that, doesn't matter, because I'm going to show you the important bit, which is how on earth to play it. So for a D sus2, all we need to do is take our finger off the E string here. So normal D chord, D sus2. That's because the 3rd note in the key of D is F sharp, this note, and we're replacing it with the 2nd note in the key of D, which is E open. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to play 2 beats of D, 1, 2, 3, and we're just going to take our finger off on the final beat, like that. So if I put that together with the A minor, have a listen. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, lift, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, lift, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, lift. All right, and again, it doesn't matter if you don't do that sus2, it'll sound absolutely fine if you just stay on the D chord, which is will work perfectly fine as well. So have a little experiment with that. I'll do one of the bridges so you can hear it, and then we'll put it all together. Okay, so the bridges, remember, we're going to start with those 2 D chords first. 1, 2, 3, D. I will follow you wherever you. I will follow you wherever you. I will follow you wherever you. And then C, G, I like to just hit it once and hang it because I think it sounds really nice. We'd often call that an NC no chord at the end. All right, now that's basically it. Now, if you want to do a little bit of a solo on this one, let's have a look at the structure just quickly on the next page. We've got verse, chorus, verse, chorus. Then we've got the bridge, which is the bit with all those A minors and Ds, and then verse, chorus. So relatively straightforward here, just the same thing over and over. Remember, the intro is just the same as the verse as well anyway, just that G, C, F, okay? So basically, we just got to remember to go from the verse to the chorus, verse to the chorus, and then the third time we hit that bridge there, which is really nice. Now, if this one we don't have a full solo, there's just not enough room to do it, and there isn't one on the record. But if you want to do any little kind of notes or practice in your solo in, because we're in the key of C, you can use that C major pentatonic. Or your A minor pentatonic. Remember, that's all the dots on the A string. Just in case you did want to have a kind of a bit of an experiment with soloing on this one, those are the chords that you can use. So a suspended chord, Carol, can be any type of chord. It could be a diminished chord no, a diminished chord couldn't really be suspended, but either a major or minor. Basically, any chord that has that triad 1, 3 and 5, you just replace the third with either the second for a sus2 or the fourth for a sus4. You can have a minor chord with a sus2 and a minor sus4, but yeah, just think of it as the most common is just a normal major chord, and you just replace the 3 with the 2 or the 3 with the 4. All right. Okay, so, and Carol, when I say flattening, any note that you take down a pitch can be thought of as flattening. So you could just double flat something to go lower, but don't sweat the theory too much. Just know that that third note in the chords has been replaced with a second. All right. Let's give it a go then. This is a really nice, slow, gentle one. We're just going to strum this one, as I say. Keep it really nice and simple. Let's see how we go. Yeah, nice one, Carol. Good, 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 good. Fantastic. Okay, so let's try the intro after 3. Here we go. Oh, hang on, I need my lyrics. There they are. Okay. 1, 2, 3, G, C, and F. Just get really comfortably into that rhythm. You could do a little solo over this bit if you wanted. 2 more of those. Still on the intro. 1 more. Yeah, there we go. Here's our verse. Here I stand at the foot of the window. Oh, please, I can help you fill the hole. And again, all my life I depend on opinion. You have solid soul. Here comes the chorus. I don't care where you live. I don't care where you live. For today I start loving you again. Another verse. Here I stand at the foot of the window open. I don't care where you live. Tell me why. Please be kind. My only companion. Oh yeah. I don't care where you live. I don't care where you live. For today I will follow you where you be. Here's our bridge. 2 more Ds. I will follow you wherever you. I will follow you wherever you. I will follow you wherever you. And sing and G and sing and G and C and G and D going, guys. Isn't that a lovely, sweet song? So different to their early stuff. You know, you get that kind of... I'm trying to think of some of their famous early songs. Sprost and Green and... what was it? The Only One I Know. The Only One I Know. All that sort of stuff. Weirdo, that's a great one as well. But they kind of had a real funk to them, whereas this is so different, but it works really, really great. There's another acoustic song on the album called Impossible, which is really beautiful as well. It's got a lovely feel to it. So if you've not heard a lot by the Charlatans and you want to check them out, this is from Us and Us Only. 1999 this was released. I think about that as one of the most recent albums. It was their 6th album, but actually it's like 25 years ago. So, or 26 probably now. So crazy. Oh, cool. Thanks, Lisa. Thank you. Check it out. It's a beautiful song. I think it might have been released as a single. I'm not sure, but yeah, check out Us and Us Only. There's some brilliant songs on there. The first one, Forever, is really epic. It's really, really cool. So yeah, nice. And that's what I love. One of the things about Kanikapila is to try and kind of introduce new stuff to you guys, because it's really good. We've all got different tastes in music. And sometimes you get a song from a genre and you think, oh, I won't like that. And actually, you can fall in love with it, which is really fantastic. Carol's just asking about the sus chord. Is it always double flatted like for the sus2? With sus chords, Carol, it's easier to think of the scale rather than the intervals, if that makes sense. So rather than thinking about that third note as being flatted or double flatted, it's easier to think about it as it's replaced with the second note. So in a C sus4, the third note would be an E, wouldn't it? C, D, E, and we replace it with a D. And for a sus4, the third note E, we replace for an F. And that's the easiest way to think about it, I think, rather than any kind of other way. So an A minor, if you wanted to do a minor sus4, an A minor, A, C, and E. For an A minor sus4, you would replace the C with a B. And for an A minor, sorry, that was an A minor sus2. And an A minor sus4, you would replace it with the D. All right, so you can kind of, there's a couple of videos on my uke theory course all about that. So if you're interested, I'll see if I can kind of put a link to one of the lessons on Facebook if you're interested. The reason they sus, yeah, they can sound sadder. It kind of creates a sense of movement, Carol. So one of the most famous ones is I'm trying to get in the key. Yeah, there it is. So a really famous one, Oh What a Beautiful Morning. A lot of people sing it wrong because they sing a C to an F chord and they sing to match the chord. Oh, what a beautiful morning. But actually it goes C to an F sus, and the F sus has a sadder sound. Oh, what a beautiful morning. And it also creates a sense of movement, right? Oh, what a beautiful morning. So Rodgers and Hammerstein use that sense of movement. The other way it's used is often just to create a bit of a groove. Used a lot in boogie woogie and things like that. So that's the kind of power of a sus chord. A lot of bands like Rolling Stones use sus chords a lot. Keith Richards was kind of obsessed with sus chords. Start Me Up, da da da. That's just a C and a C sus. So yeah. Anyway, right. Enough of me going on about sus chords. Just before we do the second two songs, just a reminder that on this Wednesday we have my next live lesson, and I'm super excited about this because you guys know how much I love jazz music. And I particularly love the jazz songbook of Cole Porter. In fact, one of my favourite albums is Ella Fitzgerald sings Cole Porter. And we're going to have a look at the beautiful Night and Day tune. So that's going to be simple strumming, but with some jazz chords. So well worth checking that one out. I'm going to talk to you about comping. So rather than kind of kind of lovely. Nice kind of comp way of strumming, which is going to be really lovely. And then don't forget, if anyone wants to come on the next cruise, I've got the flyer and everything on my website, and only 334 days to go, which is super, super exciting. And the Spanish retreat coming up in May. Gosh, there's so much happening. It's crazy. And the other thing I just wanted to mention was I've got a new Beatles on uke lesson coming up this week. So I've tried to do them every fortnight, the Beatles on uke, but because I've been away, it's been a long time since I've done one. But I think there's 8 lessons on there already, and I'm going to keep adding to it, so the course will build. If you're interested, just check out my website, mattsteadukulele.com. There's 10 courses, all with consecutive lessons on literally thousands of hours of learning. And I mean that, it's not hundreds, it's thousands, which is crazy, isn't it? But so much on there. £10 a month for all my courses, or £8 if you just want the 3 main ones, which is beginners, intermediate and next step. So check that out, guys, if you're interested. I think most of you guys are members anyway, which is really great. Oh, nice. Yeah, Tim Burgess, he's such a cool dude, isn't he? Have you been doing his listening parties, Tim? Every I think it's every month, Tim Burgess has a listening party on Twitter where everyone listens to an album at the same time and comments it on Twitter, and it's really, really sweet, which is lovely. Queen lesson. Yeah, Joe, maybe. Yeah, maybe Queen. That we haven't done them. I think that's my mum's favourite band and one of my favourites as well. So yeah, I'll look into that. I'll see what we can do. Maybe not Bohemian Rhapsody though, because it's got like 1 million chords. We'll go for one of the easier ones. So yeah, we'll figure something fun. Okay, let's have a look at our last 2 songs now. It's gone quickly tonight. I wonder if I've been talking at 1,000,000 miles an hour. It's been a little while since I've done one of these because I've been away, and I think I've got overexcited and spoken fast forward. So what you could do is watch the replay back and just take me down to 0.75 playback speed. And then I'll be talking like a normal person. So yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at this next one. Now, this next song, sorry, I'm just going to take a quick slurp. This next one is really interesting because originally this was an old folk song, I think from Scotland. And we think that originally it was written about Bonnie Prince Charlie, so the guy who led the rebellion. And when he was defeated at the Battle of Culloden, he escaped to the Isle of Skye, and the Skye Boat song and this song were both kind of written about that. Of course, it can be interpreted, my Bonnie is my sweetheart. So some people interpret it as during that time or just afterwards, there was a lot of migration to America, and you got the Scots-Irish and the Ulster Scots going over to America. So it could be thought of in that way. A bit like Aloha Oi by Queen Liliuokalani in Hawaii can be thought of as either a literal love song saying goodbye to her sweetheart, or it can be interpreted about her saying goodbye to her islands. Probably historians on that one agreed that it was literally just a romantic song because it was the melody at least predates her time when she was under house arrest and all that. Anyway, I'm jabbering on. But yeah, the traditional song goes back to an old Scottish folk song. And it's a really simple 3/4 timing song. So it would have sounded something like this. Now I'll do a finger picking version eventually, but just strummed, it would have sounded really simple like this. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. My Bonnie lies over the sea. Really nice and gentle, right? My Bonnie lies over the ocean. Oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. So that's kind of really simple 3/4 classic European Scottish type folk music. Now, the Beatles in their very early days, when they were known as the Beat Brothers or the Silver Beatles, they went to Hamburg famously, and whilst in Hamburg they played with Tony Sheridan, early R&B artist in the UK, right? And he really liked to play songs with a really kind of classic boogie woogie 4 to the floor rhythm. And he took this waltz version and he started slowly, right? I might have been saying Body Carol, but I meant Bonnie. My body lies over the ocean. And he jazzed it up and made it 4/4 timing. And he started adding those kind of nice R&B boogie woogie. And then it sounded completely different. My body lies over the ocean. My body lies over the sea. Completely different feel to it. And that's, oh, I get you, Cam. And that's why the time signature that you play a song in is so important, because it changes the feel completely. And that's what Tony Sheridan did. And what we're going to do in a minute is we're going to play both versions. We're going to play a really gentle, sweet waltz, and then we're going to kind of up the tempo, move it into common time 4/4, and give it a go with that, which would be really, really nice. Oh, I like that. Karen associates this with swimming lessons. You had to dunk your heads under the water. Oh my goodness, love it. Love it. Rebecca's got a question. So what determines whether you play a Hawaiian D7 or a full D7? Sorry, Rebecca, I don't know why I've made that so massive. There we go. Now, that's a great question. So when we play a D7, we can do two different versions. The Hawaiian D7 that Rebecca's mentioning is that 2-finger D7 like this. Okay. It's basically a rootless D7. It doesn't have a D note in it. We've got C, that's the 7th note in D7. F sharp, that's the 3rd. We've got A, that's the 5th. And another A. So we don't have the D note, which is this note here. So it's a kind of D7, but it's not quite as full sounding as a full D7, which has all of the notes D, F sharp, A, and C. Now, there's no hard and fast rules over which you use. I tend to play the traditional D7 more, because I like the fact that it ends on the 7th note as the highest note. Whereas this one, the 7th note, is the C here. It's kind of buried inside the chord. So this I find more satisfying. But you can swap them out completely. Now, the obvious answer in terms of the Hawaiian one, if you're playing Hawaiian music, it's really nice to do the Hawaiian one, right? Because it matches the feel. But I kind of think of it another way as well. When I'm playing kind of gentle, melancholic songs, we're in open position, so not lots of chords up the fretboard, I really like the sound of a Hawaiian D7. So because this song's very gentle, da, 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 I'll put it back to a waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Because I'm playing it quite gently, I really like the Hawaiian D7 here. But when I do the kind of electric version, if you like, or Tony Sheridan version later on, I'm going to put the barred D7 in because I prefer the sound. Because we're going to really rock and roll it like this. I kind of really like the way that one sounds. So it's up to you really, but have a think about what kind of feels right to you. And yeah, Joe's right. Whatever suits the tune. It just takes a bit of kind of trial and error, if nothing else. Just try both, and remember my old adage: if it feels good and it sounds good, it is good. So see which one feels right. Let's have a look at the basic chords then. That's happening here. We're in the key of G for this one. And this one is obviously in the key of G because it starts and ends in G, which is a dead giveaway from the start. But also the song feels resolved when it goes to the G chord. So G being our 1 chord sets the scene. And then a classic folk thing to do is to go to the 4 chord for a little bit of change in the key of G, G, A, B, C. That's C. Notice I'm doing that 2-finger trick again and back to the 1 chord. So home, change, home. Then we have another line, and this is interesting. We have the 2 chord, which would normally be played as a minor chord. But here we have an A7 rather than an A minor, this one here. And that creates, remember, dominant 7th chords, chords with just a 7 written after them, are about creating movement. And that A7 wants to resolve to a chord it's 5 above. What is A7 5 above? It's a D. Don't worry if you don't remember that, I'm telling you. D, E, F, G, A. Okay, so by adding that chord as a 7th, it really wants to go to a D, and afterwards we have a D7. You could do either. And that D7 creates its own tension that wants to go back to a G. And that's how that little section works. So we have G, A7 wants to go to a D, D7 wants to go to a G, which it does in the next line. Home, change, home. And then the bottom line, same thing again. Tension, tension, resolution. Really simple. Let's just do a down, down, up, down on each measure and give this a quick go. I'll stay on close cam and just follow it along with me after 3. 1, 2, 3. My body lies over the ocean. My body lies over the sea. My body lies over the ocean. So bring back my body to me. Really lovely, right? So really simple chords, as it is with a lot of folk tunes. Karen's saying there's some alternate lyrics in the back about being seasick. So that sounds good. I'll sing that on the next cruise, as long as it doesn't make people seasick. And Harry's right. I didn't turn green once, or I wasn't seasick once. Even after I had a night on the cocktails for Sharon's birthday, I still felt fine the next day. They're such big ships, the cruise ships. I mean, when you first go up and you see them and there's all those floors, it's like, wow, it's like a hotel that floats, right? But I think because of that, and also because we're on the Caribbean Sea as opposed to like the Atlantic or something, the waves were never too massive. It just kind of plows through the waves. So I felt a little bit of movement every now and then, but hardly anything. I've done the seasick. I've done the ferry from France to England quite a few times and vice versa. And that's made me really sick because it goes up and down like this the whole time. But the cruise was absolutely fine. And there were some very good cocktails on board as well. I tell you, they were wonderful. Okay, so let's have a look at the chorus. Now, the chorus is doing a very similar thing again. Only the 1 chord we play for 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we get the change chord, which is the 4 chord, see? 2 chord, which makes you want to go to 5 again, and it does. And that makes you want to go back to G. So it's basically the same pattern, but in a slightly different order. Bring back, bring back. Oh, bring back my body to me, to me. Bring back, oh, bring back my body to me. Really nice, simple but sweet chords in this, and mostly based on the 1, 4 and 5 chords. Now, if you want to, you can do exactly the same picking pattern that you did for the first song that we did. So that's our 1, 2, 3. So just as a reminder, that's either pinching the C or the G string. Either's fine with your thumb. and then picking up on the bottom 2 strings twice with your fingers. Okay, now if I just stay on those these strings, that will sound like this. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. My Bonnie lies over the sea. My Bonnie lies over, sorry, the ocean. Not looking at the chords. Oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. Or if I alternate, my Bonnie lies over the ocean. My Bonnie lies over the sea. My Bonnie lies over the ocean. Oh, bring back my Bonnie to me. Now that's the picking pattern that I'm going to do for this song, just to kind of create a real differentiation with that and a fast Tony Sheridan version when I do it. But you can just strum. Okay, don't feel you've got to go too crazy and make it too hard on yourself. Now, what we're going to do in terms of the structure on this, we just have verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. Now, that last verse we're going to play instrumentally. If you want to do a little bit of a solo on this one, we can use the G major pentatonic. That's 5 notes in the key of G. And the easiest way to play this is to do this pattern going from the 7th fret of the C string to the 9th fret, 7th fret of the E string to the 10th fret, 7th fret of the A string to the 10th fret. Okay, so 7, 9, 7, 10, 7, 10. And you can pair that up with the E minor pentatonic, which is 4, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7. And that's because the E minor pentatonic has all of the same notes as the G major, only it starts from E rather than G. Now these are all in your scales reference charts, the old ones and the new ones. So let's have a look. Where are we? Let's see if we can find those. Here we go. There's the G major. Now that's a G major full scale, but pentatonic is even simpler because it's just the 5 notes. Where are we? Here we go. And it looks, yeah, there we go. This is the perfect sheet. So in your new sheets, this is page 20. You'll find it in your old sheets as well. So there's the second diagram down is the first pattern that I did. Let me bring that a little bit bigger and over, like so. Okay. So the second one down was the first pattern I did, starting at 7. That's our My Girl one, right? Of course I missed it in Drowning. And the E minor is slightly different pattern. It looks very similar, doesn't it? Starting from the 4th fret. Okay. And you can join them together if you want to create one big scale that you can solo all the way over, which is really nice. So try and use these diagrams and really think of those shapes as you're doing it. And these are movable. Whichever note you start with on the C string, like G here, that's G major pentatonic. If I start from here, which is 2 down, I get the F major pentatonic. Same shape. If I do the same shape from the 2nd fret, I get the D major pentatonic. So basically, whichever note you start from, that's the one that it's named after. So it's really, really, really helpful. And you can just do a little solo over the top. Let's just do a backing track. I think I've got one here. And the first time you do it, keep it really nice and kind of simple. Really nice and gentle, you don't have to go too crazy. Now, when we do the Tony Sheridan one, which we're going to do in a minute, where we go upbeat, because he basically turns it into a bluesy R&B number, what you can do then is you can use the G blues scale. Let's see if I can, there we go, here's our blues scale. Now this has a kind of a different feel. You could do it in a similar place, way up at the 7th fret. This is this diagram now. It looks like the minor pentatonic shape, in fact it is, but with this flatted 5th note here. Now that has a kind of a groovier sound, so when you have that common time playing in the background, notice that it kind of has a real bluesiness to it, that blues scale. So if you're not sure what scale to use over a song, go with the major or minor pentatonic first. And then if it has a kind of R&B bluesy feel, try the blues scale for something a bit different. It's a really nice way to solo. Now, I've got to show you one more thing and then we can do this. I know this one's been a bit convoluted, but it's all for a good reason. So when we play this through the second time, because we're going to play it once through just as it is with that 3/4 time, when we play it through the second time, we're going to hold down a G chord, and we're going to change from 3/4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, to 4/4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Literally, just keep strumming a little bit faster and count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that would mean each measure would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, now it has a real kind of a whole different feel, like a real upbeat feel, which is really, really sweet. And if you want, what you can do is you can add even more notes to those chords. Those sus notes we talked about earlier. When you're on a G chord, try adding your little finger on and off the 3rd fret of the A string. Doesn't that sound cool? And when we're on the C chord, try adding your finger on and off the F note here. Okay, so we got G, C. So just have a little experiment. If you want to add some of those notes and make it really rock and roll, it will sound fantastic. So what we're doing is we're taking the original folk version and then we're going to play the Tony Sheridan Beatles version, basically. We'll do the whole thing twice. I'll show you how that will sound changing. If I go from the final chorus of the 3/4 time into the rock and roll version, I'll show you how it'll look and sound. So this is the 3/4 last chorus, so you can get an idea. My bonnie... Oh, hang on, I need my chords up. Where are they? There we go. Yeah, fabulous. My bonnie lies over the ocean. My bonnie lies over the sea. My bonnie lies over the ocean. Oh, bring back my bonnie to me. My bonnie lies over the ocean. My bonnie lies over the sea. My bonnie lies over the ocean. Oh, bring back my bonnie to me. Such a change, right? Even though I'm playing it on the ukulele, so loads of fun. So basically play it all through in 3/4 and then have a go. Oh, no worries, Pam, that's all right. You can always watch the replay back. You can watch the replays back of these anytime you want. So let's do the whole thing through 3/4 time, like we're singing a really nice traditional Scottish tune. And then let's do the whole thing again in 4/4 time, upbeat. Imagine you're on stage in Hamburg with the Beatles. You're dressed all in leather, having loads of fun. Okay, let's have a go. I'll put the chords up here so you can see them. There we go. Again, if I look like I'm staring off into the distance, it's just because I'm reading the words on my other version. So let me just flip that over and then we're back to it. Okay. Whoop. Come on, iPad. I've got this on an iPad and it's playing up. There we go. Okay. Here we go. So let's come in from start 3/4, nice and gentle. I'll just play the first line twice, just as like a little introduction. 1, 2, 3, G, C, and G. You can strum if you like. Play that again. G, C, and G. Then we'll go from the top. My body lies over the ocean. My body lies over the sea. My body lies over the ocean. Oh, bring back my body to me. Here's that chorus. Bring back, oh, bring back my body to me, to me. Bring back, oh, bring back my body to me. Last night as I lay on my pillow, last night as I lay on my bed, last night as I lay on my pillow, I dreamt that my body was dead. Another chorus. Bring back, oh, bring back my body to me, to me. Bring back, oh, bring back my body to me. Try a solo or strum a verse. G major pentatonic if you want a solo. Final chorus. Bring back, oh, bring back my body to me, to me. Bring back, oh, bring back my body to me. Now Tony Sheridan, 4/4. Just do G, C, G twice to get us going. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. My body lies over the ocean. My body lies over the sea. My body lies over the ocean. Oh, bring back my body to me. Oh, bring back my body to me, to me. Bring back, oh, bring back my body to me. Have a verse. Last night as I lay on my pillow, last night as I lay on my bed, last night as I lay on my pillow, I dreamt that my body was dead. Chorus. Bring back, oh, bring back my body to me, to me. Bring back, oh, bring back my body to me. Take a solo. to me. Bring back, oh bring back my bunny to me. Well done everyone, there we go. So interesting, right, that you can play a song two incredibly different ways just by altering the tempo and the time signature, which is really, really interesting. And the Beatles did this a lot. They took, have you heard the version of, let's think. I'll Remember You by Pee Wee King again, actually. See the pyramids among the now. Oh, You Belong to Me, sorry. Da 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 da. Well, when Ringo did a version on his solo album, he took that song, which is in 12/8, which is almost like 3/4 again and again, and he changed that one into 4/4, and it changed the feeling completely. So if you ever want to make a song sound R&B, go for Common Time. If you want it to be more traditional, stick with the 3/4 time. So just a bit of craziness and a bit of fun there, just to show you how it can work, which is good. Right, we're going to finish with one last song now. I realise time's getting on, so I'll whiz through this relatively quickly just so we can have a go. And you can take everything that you've learnt tonight and put it into this one, which is really gorgeous. So you could do finger picking, you could do strumming, whatever works for you on this one. We're in the key of D for this one, even though D isn't the first chord. And notice that if I play the intro, even without kind of singing over the top, you'll notice that it feels resolved when it hits the final G. Have a listen. Notice that final chord, it really kind of, it resolves everything. So that's how we know we're in the key of G. And this one was written by James Hill, all of our favourites, ukulele players, right? We love James Hill. I do personally. I think he's absolutely amazing. He taught at last year's ukulele retreat, which was really, really brilliant. In fact, the lineup was just mad, wasn't it? We had Sam Muir, we had who else do we have? Aaron Kime and Aaron and Nicole Kime, the Quiet American, Jeff Peterson and James Hill and Janelle. It was mad. It was great. But he was also the first ukulele player many, many years ago that I brought over to play just to our local village, basically. I used to have a very small ukulele shop, and I brought him over to do a workshop, and then he played in the village hall, and it was really nice. We had hundreds of people turn out. It was fantastic. And he played beautiful, beautiful set. He also played the Ukulele Festival of Great Britain last year, which is coming back next year, by the way. I'm working on the lineup at the moment, and I have to say it's looking really exciting. So that's going to be brilliant. And James Hill and Janelle, they headlined the Saturday night of last year's festival, and they did play this song, I think before the encore, and it was my request, so it did make me cry. But it's an absolutely beautiful song. It's off James's album The Old Silo, which I think is an incredible album. Even if you're not into ukulele, it just stands up on its own. The songwriting is superb. Really, really great, well-crafted songs, and this is no exception. So we're in the key of G for this one, and it's quite long. Look at all those verses and choruses, but I'll explain it. It's not half as hard as it looks, okay? So you could do your finger picking pattern, but I'm just going to strum this one just to keep it really, really simple. I'll show you the intro in just a minute, but let's have a look at the verses. They're relatively simple, okay? We've just got a 1 chord set in the stall out. Let me just bring my lyrics up, which will sound like this. Tension of the 5 chord, D, going back to the 1 chord, and then change, which often happens on the second line of a verse. The change chord, the 4 chord, that's C in this case, and then the resolution G. And we have 2 of those in each verse. Have a listen, it will sound like this. It was already August, the first blush of autumn in the cheeks of the maple and ash. I was so busy busy minding my business that I didn't see her till she asked me to dance. Now, something I noticed when I was playing this through earlier, and I'm so sorry, Karen and Esther, who did these beautiful sheets for me. This is my fault. When I sent over the template, I forgot to mention this. In the third verse, when it does the third time round, we play exactly this here, but we omit the D. Okay, so the third verse, third time round, you're just going to play G and C. I'll show you. Now I don't like my chances of putting her beauty in words, but I'll give it a try. Okay, so the third verse each time, if I put it through so you can see it, here we've got two verses and then a third verse. Just omit the D, just keep playing G and then C. All right, really, you'll get used to it. Nice and simple. Then when we go to the pre-chorus, which I think is my favourite part, it's really beautiful. It's all about creating a lot of movement because we have the 1 chord going straight to the tension of the 5 chord. It resolves again. Then the slight tension of the 4 chord. Then we get the 6 chord, which is a minor chord, this E minor, which is really beautiful and melancholy. Tension of the 5 chords and resolve into the G. There's a lot going on there. It's really pretty. Have a listen. G, D, G, C, E minor, D, and G. I'll do that for the lyrics. So this is the pre-chorus. 1, 2, 3. Her eyes were as blue as a Hank Williams song, and a voice like an odd lullaby. How great are those chords? Absolutely gorgeous. Then we go to the chorus, If Wishes Were Horses. Now this, again, we're using similar chords, right? 1, 5, 4, and then that 6 comes in briefly. But because it starts on the 5 chord, we get a sense of tension right from the off. If wishes were... And then by turning it into a D7, which you can either do 2 ways, you can turn it into this one, or you can put your finger there. Or you could do a Hawaiian D7, which is what I tend to do. It creates even more tension that wants to resolve to the 1 chord. So, if wishes were horses, we'd ride together. 4, C, riding 1, tension of the 5 chord. Then we get the melancholy of the 6 chord, which is glorious. D, G, C, G for 2, E minor. You can either swap all those round or remember my trick for E minor. Just put 1 finger on the 4th fret of the C string coming out of the G. D and the resolution. I'll do one of those so you can hear it. 1, 2, 3. If wishes were horses, we'd ride together. Chase it. Whoops. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong line. I'll do that again. 1, 2, 3. If wishes were horses, we'd ride together. Chasing the wind across the plain. Then the 3rd line. If longing were midsummer rain, I'd turn the canyons into deep rivers again. Yeah, beautiful chorus. Isn't that gorgeous? I think it's really, really lovely. Now, if we look at the next page, you might think, zoinks, that is crazy. How am I going to remember all that? But it's actually the same thing over and over again. Verse, 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 pre-chorus, chorus. Verse, 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 pre-chorus, chorus. The interlude is just 2 verses. So it's instrumentally verse, 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 pre-chorus, chorus. So it's the same thing again, right? Again and again. 3 verses, pre-chorus, chorus. 3 verses, pre-chorus, chorus, 3 verses, pre-chorus, chorus, and then a final chorus at the end. If you want to solo on this one, you can use your G major pentatonic, which I taught you in the last song, or your E minor pentatonic. Join them together, you get a really nice soloing possibility. Let me just ever so quickly show you that. That will look like this. So G major is up here at 7, 9, 7, 10, 7, 10. And E minor, 4, 7 on the C string, 5, 7 on the E string, and 5, 7 on the A string. Sorry, I'm going through this a bit quickly. I'm just conscious of the time. Okay, so if you want to do a little solo to this one, did I do a backing track? Let me check. I think I did. Yeah, here we go. I like to start V minor. And so on and so forth, so you can get a bit of an idea. So just enjoy yourself. If you want to do a little solo on the instrumental verse, or just keep strumming, it will be absolutely fine. That will work as well. Now what I'm going to do for this one is I'm going to strum I'm going to finger pick the first 3 verses, pre-chorus and chorus. Then I'm going to strum the next 3. And then I'm not sure what I'm going to do after that. I'll either keep strumming or go back to a pick. So we'll have a little bit of an experiment. But I'm definitely going to finger pick the first 3 verses, pre-chorus and chorus, and then strum. And remember, pick, just think 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, don't do anything. Don't have to do anything super clever on this. Just keep it nice and simple. All right, let's have a go. So remember, we've got that intro as well. Now, I forgot to tell you about the intro, but it's basically the same as the end of the chorus here. All right, so just follow them through 1 chord at a time. D, G, C, 2 Gs, E minor, D, and G. And then we'll start the first verse. Let's give it a go then. Let me see. I'm just going to bring myself up a little bit. Yeah, that's better. Okay, here we go. So first intro to get us going. 1, 2, 3, D, G, C, G, stay on G, E minor, D, and G. Here comes our first verse. It was already August, the first blush of autumn in the cheeks of the maple and ash. I was so busy minding my business, didn't see her till she asked me to dance. Just stay on G now. Now I don't like my chances of putting her beauty in words, but I'll give it a try. Pre-chorus. Her eyes were as blue as a Hank Williams song, and her voice like an old lullaby. Chorus. If wishes were horses, we'd ride together, chasing the wind across the plain. And if longing were midsummer rain, I'd turn the canyons into deep rivers again. The dance floor was hot as a greenhouse in June, and the band swung like a trapeze. And I held her close as I dared to, then spun her around like a leaf in the breeze. When time passes slow and love has left you behind. Chorus. If wishes were horses, we'd ride together, chasing the wind across the plains. And if longing were midsummer rain, I'd cry the canyons into deep rivers again. If wishes were horses, we'd ride together, chasing the wind across the plains. And if longing were midsummer rain, I'd turn the canyons into deep rivers again. Oh, well done, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. Sorry, I mucked that up, the words with that one. And I'm really apologetic because that's one of my favourite songs by James as well. So, oh no, I couldn't quite read the lyrics quickly enough, and I kept having to glance backwards and forwards. So, apologies if anyone noticed I got the words all wrong on that one. But it's always the last song at Kanikapila. I think my brain just goes kaput after 3 songs. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that. It's such a beautiful song. If you haven't already, do get hold of a copy of James's album, The Old Silo. In fact, I think I've still got a load on vinyl and CDs, because when James left after the Ukulele Festival of Great Britain, he left a load with me. So if anyone's after one, let me know. I'll sell it to you, and obviously I'll send James the money. But I do have some copies, I think, on vinyl. I think I've got his UKEDS one as well, which is lovely. But yeah, The Old Silo is just such a good album, just amazing. So it's incredible, isn't it? Oh, Harry, I'm going to bring your comment up big because that's really beautiful. Harry was one of the organisers on the cruise. So Donna's the boss. She does all the main work organising the cruise. But Harry did some great work on the songbook and making sure everyone's happy. And we couldn't have done it without you. So thanks, Harry. But he says, just thinking here we all are sitting in our homes in various parts of the world, sharing good times together, the way the world is meant to be. Cheers to all. Have a great week. I couldn't have put it better myself, Harry. That's really beautiful and a lovely thing to say. And sometimes I can get a bit kind of like with modern life, and I, particularly like I was talking to Sharon about the kind of people can get a bit obsessed with mobile phones, and I do the doom scrolling and all that. We've all been there, right? But then at the same time, the internet is amazing. I wouldn't be doing what I was doing without the internet. And I love the fact that I can chat with you guys, and some of you in Canada, America. We've got students over in Asia. It's just amazing. And that's the kind of positive power, isn't it, of the internet? And don't forget that when all the gloom and doom is around. So I'm really thankful that I can do what I do, and I'm really thankful that you guys join me. And thanks for coming back tonight. I was so nervous. Whenever I have a big kind of gap in Kanikapila, I think, oh no one's going to come back again. They're going to have forgotten about little old me. But you guys came back, and I'm so glad you did. And thank you for all your support and friendship and everything. So yeah, it's been magic. And it's so nice that so many of you, I've met in person now, so I can, it's great. I can actually picture you when these little comments come up. It's like, I know who Rebecca is, so that's really lovely. And hopefully there'll be many more opportunities to do that. So come along to one of our events if you can, and take part. It's really joyous. So remember, we've got the Spanish retreat in May. All the details, just go to events, and there's a link there. That's in a little village of Gausin, south of Spain. Really excited about it. You could even stay on an extra day and come and see the monarchs with me, the beautiful butterflies. And we're going to have beautiful Spanish food, Mediterranean sunshine, hopefully, and lots of singing and learning. Then we've got a cruise next year, which is just super exciting. exciting. I'm really excited about the islands as well. Look, we got St. Kitts, Antigua, Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic, which is going to be fantastic. And of course, loads of ukulele playing and teaching, which is going to be really, really, really exciting. We've got our summer ukulele retreat this year. I don't even know if I've said who's playing this summer, but it's one of them was one of James Hill's teachers back in the day from Canada, Peter Luongo, we've got playing, who's brilliant, really influential and kind of enthusiastic teacher. Then we've got Jeff, we've got Sam, our resident tutor, and we've also got let me think. Matt Hicks, you might know him as Lester T. Webb. He's coming to teach as well, which is going to be really, really exciting. Then we've got a Christmas retreat. Oh, there's so much. Ukulele festival next year. So I'll tell you all about it as they happen. But yeah, hopefully I'll get to meet a load more of you in person, because that was really, really special. I'm still buzzing from it. Don't forget to join me this Wednesday if you can for next live lesson. That's this Wednesday, 19th of March at 3:30 p.m, which I'm really excited about. It's been a while since we've done one of those. And also, we're going to have my new Beatles on Mute course is going to continue. We're going to do a lovely finger-picked version of She's Leaving Home off why can't I think of it? Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. It wasn't coming to me, but yeah, it's going to be loads of fun. Yeah, Lester T. Webb. Matt Hicks, he's a good friend of mine. We did workshops together many, many years ago. And he only changed his name to Lester T. Webb because there was another Matt Hicks doing music, and it got really complicated, them both having the same website and everything. So it's Matt Hicks, but Lester T. Webb is his new stage name. So that's going to be great. And he's loads of fun as well. So yeah, if you get me drunk enough, I'll tell you about the night where me and him ended up in a tiny pub in Longhope at 4 a.m. with being plied with rhubarb cider. How West Country is that? Okay, well, have a great week, everyone. We'll be back to these every week now, so I've missed you on. It's been so nice seeing you all together again, even if it's just virtually. So come along next Monday. We're going to do songs about thanks, because I'm so thankful for all of you. So that'll be next Monday at 6 o'clock. I think I'll head off. Normally I stay for questions, but I've just realised how late it is. Maybe I didn't talk too quickly, or maybe I just blabbed on, I don't know. Anyway, much love, and I will see you again either Wednesday or next week. Take care, everyone, and stay brilliant. Bye.